Are you ready to make a spontaneous, it's called Elimination Diet Soup, that's just really great soup, healthy and organic? I'm going to show you what I just picked up at my local farmer's stand and how I walked back here in this heat, and I'm just going to show you how quickly you can throw something together and eat as much as you want. It's super healthy, it's a great cleanse, and you might even lose some weight if that's one of your goals. So let's get started. So the beauty of going to the farmer's stand at the end of this street is that I get whatever is in season or whatever they have available. So as you can see, I have, all right, I'm not going to know these names. I will post them. I'll put it up here somewhere when I look this up. This is a version of cabbage. This is the one, I can't remember what it was, but I'll look it up for you. This is kale. This is all organic, grown locally. Beets, my beautiful little carrots here. And then we have down here kohlrabi. I got introduced to that, and recently it's something new to me, but it's amazing. It's great for soup. My bok choy, and of course I have, let's see, we have our leeks. All right. Now, how do you know when they're really the real deal? They're probably not going to be the same size as something you get in the grocery store, because they don't have a bunch of garbage pumped into them to make them huge, which means they don't last that long either. That's why it's so amazing to go get something fresh and cook it. I am going to take all of these, and there was no real, and of course there's my onion, there's no real plan behind this other than things that I thought might be super healthy in a soup. Now I happen to know that any kind of cabbage and onions are definitely part of an elimination diet. What does that mean? It cleanses your body out. And so, especially if it's soup, if you really want to cleanse out your body, you can do that. Now I love beets because it gives not just color but a little bit of sweetness naturally. And then, of course, same thing with carrots. I usually don't have carrots, but you know what? This is soup, and this is super healthy. It's nice to be balanced, and of course, the kale and whatever this is. Limes and lemons, I always have a whole bunch of them that I keep in my fridge in my little basket, because if I'm not making a cocktail with them, I put them in soups in my water. You know, if you put lemon in your water, it's supposed to be super cleansing, super good for you. But lemons and limes for everyday use in just about everything. All right, so let's get started. So I don't have everything in my soup. If you can see this, I have quite a few things left over. that I am going to be adding later, and this is actually 2 full things of soup. This could go into a nice compost pile somewhere. Yeah, beautiful. Something you might want to do if you don't have fresh water, spring water, or even distilled, you can use tap water cold, and then I highly recommend you just boil it, and that basically, you know, disinfects it to some point. But boil your water first, and then you can go ahead and start adding all of your ingredients. But make sure you do that because you want to get rid of all of the impurities in there that you possibly can through boiling. So now it might not look all that appealing. Let's take a look. Yeah, looks a little scary. Looks like a compost pile itself, but the smell is amazing. And of course, we're going to work on this with the spices. But the thing is that I don't usually put too many spices in until later on because, well, let's be really honest, it's going to change flavors. All of these vegetables and onions and kohlrabi and all that has to cook. And so then I'll determine whether or not I have to add more salt or cumin or spices. And I want to wait because I'm not using vegetable broth. I don't like to use vegetable broth because I believe anything that is canned or put in a container that sits on shelves forever has chemicals in it. So I avoid it if I can. Once in a while there's just stuff that you can't avoid, but that's one of them I can. So all the broth that's being created by this is 100% all natural. So let's see what happens. I'm going to let this stew for a while and then we'll play around with the flavors. Okay, it didn't take long. In fact, this hasn't actually been cooked all that long. It has not been on the stove that long because here's how I think, and that is this is evolving. This is alive. Everything in here is alive and it continues to change just like a bottle of wine is alive. So what I do is if it tastes really good, I'll have this soup because most of this may be in more of a raw form because I haven't really cooked it very long. So it's going to taste differently as it goes, but it's so good right now before it's even been on the stove for a while. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. You know, I would guess that this was chicken broth if I didn't know better. Now another thing I want to suggest is, of course, I always serve everything in porcelain. And I use my best silverware, but I want to just share with you, when you use smaller containers, if you are trying to lose weight, use the smaller container for all of your food. You can eat this all day long. In fact, on certain diets, you can have as much as you want. You can eat the whole pot, but we don't want to do that. So what you do is you put it in a small container and you just enjoy it, especially if it's hot, you'll take your time. And then you wait. Wait 20 minutes, there's a good chance you're going to feel full, but we usually refill our plates or eat more before we even realize if we're full or not. And your body takes a little while to say, yes, I've had enough. One little container of this is amazing. So another thing that I want to share with you is all of that extra stuff that I have. I don't put it all in the soup at once. This is actually not too thick. It has a little bit of consistency, as you can probably see here. Because I do pulverize the veggies. If you want to leave them in chunks, you can do that. I like to pulverize it because it blends the flavors all throughout. But what I do then is, as it gets down just a little bit, I'll put more in, different combinations, put it back in the soup. I'll boil it, put it back in, and then keep bringing it up. And the flavors from the soup that was in there continue. Of course, you don't want to do that for too long. You can do it probably up to a week because you're eating all of this wonderful, amazing soup and veggies that are not going to really go bad. So what I like to do is I like to go back and put the rest of what's left and start to slowly add it along with water and of course my spices, and the soup changes every time, but I continually add. I don't wait till it's done and then redo another batch. I wait till it goes down a little bit. I put more of the veggies in, sort of, renew it, and then I put more of the spices in, taste it again, and it usually tastes like a different soup. And so I continue to use that beautiful flavors of what's already in the pot, and then of course boil it up, and then we have this amazing, beautiful, large pot of soup that just is sort of never ending. This will last you days. And if this is all you're eating, I'm not here to give you medical advice, but everything you need is really in here. And if you're just sticking to a vegan diet, there you go. Everything in here is organic, it's healthy, it's cleansing, it's a detox, and it is so good. And it's filling. The beauty of warm soup is you will feel full. So let's have our soup. Remember when your mom used to cook and you could smell it? You come running home to get to that kitchen. I loved that. So cheers to you. Here's to healthy eating. No recipe really required. It's all about what tastes right for you, adding things that are healthy and pure, and most of all, fresh and organic. So let's eat healthy. And like I said, you might just lose a little bit of weight, get a little bit lean and sexy. I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.